What is up, everybody? Welcome into episode 26 of the Brahma Bullpen. This episode is going to be a quick one for me. Not going to talk that much. We're going to share the entire interview from the San Antonio fan event here at the Alamo Dome, where a local sports radio station, Jason Minix on 94.1, the Sports Star San Antonio, interviewed Moose Johnston, as well as our head coach, the one and only Wade Phillips, son of Bum. Follow him on Twitter. He tells a lot of dad jokes on Twitter. He's hilarious. Key points that I got from it. Attendance in the Alamo Dome, how many they were expecting back in the AAF days. Moose Johnston has an affinity for football, especially spring football here in San Antonio. Wade Phillips talked a little trash to the other teams. Keep an ear out for that when he starts putting the other teams on notice. We're looking for a Mike Leach offense and a Wade Phillips defense down here in San Antonio. Without further ado, let's watch the interview.
Football operations, the Moose, Daryl Johnston. Our next guest needs no introduction either. He really doesn't, although he's new, or not new, but familiar with the San Antonio market. But the first time he's coaching here a San Antonio team, you know him with the Oilers, you know him with the Dallas Cowboys, and he's our head coach, the San Antonio Brahmas head coach, Wade Phillips. There you go. You guys can be louder.
Welcome. Thank you.
Was that welcome enough for you, Wade?
That's great. Yeah.
You guys can be louder for Wade. Do you know that, right?
We got a new vaquero in town. Me.
You. It's going to be a lot of fun. And Moose, obviously, back in the Alamo Dome, spring football, you were a big part of what we had here before. You know how special San Antonio is and will be for the new UFL.
Yeah, I've been telling Coach Wade about it, and just what we were able to experience here back with the Alliance of American Football with Bill Polian and Charlie Ebersol was amazing. And I'll never forget that game against Orlando that night. I think that was even though we didn't win the game, that was the night that we really validated what spring football can really be. And it's a testament to all the fans here in San Antonio. I think the opening game, God, it was a downpour. And we knew that it was kind of a walk-up crowd. And, let's wait and see. And, we had a great turnout week one. And you guys just kept coming back. And we tell everybody, when you come to one of these games, go find one of your friends that hasn't been yet and bring them with you the next time. And you guys kind of did that for us. That final week, when the league decided to close up, we were scheduled to have over 40,000 people in this building for that last game. So this was obviously a market that was targeted by the United Football League that needed to be a part of our league moving forward, because to a person, everybody that had been here going all the way back to the World League of American Football, the way that San Antonio comes out and supports and gets behind their football team is something that's very unique in this market.
And Wade, I know you've heard a lot of stories about San Antonio. You're familiar with the Dome, but you were coaching in Houston last year in the Spring League. For you to get this job here, what was that process like, your decision making to say, yeah, I'll take the San Antonio job?
They said, Russ Brandon, the head of the league, the president of the league, said, Wade, you got a chance to go to San Antonio. I said, yes.
Why?
Well, this is an opportunity for coaches, not only the players in the league, but coaches too. And I couldn't pass up that opportunity. It's a great city. We're going to outdo St. Louis.
Yeah!
They think they have the best fans in the league, but they do not.
They don't. And I did you guys get one of these cool schedule posters? They have them over there in the back there. And one of the things that I wanted to point out, you brought up St. Louis, Coach. Every game is on national television. The first game is on ESPN. In week 3, home game is on ABC. We've got 2 games on Fox and another one on ABC. And you know the people in St. Louis, those fans are going to say they have the best fans. National television, we need to make sure the Alamo Dome is packed and it's loud in here, right, guys?
Absolutely.
Every game on national television, which is massive. And Daryl, you've been a part of, the alliance. You were a part of the league last year. The 2 leagues coming together, which had to happen for survival of spring football. What's the biggest benefits, and I know that's plural, of the merger?
When we were able to make it through our season in the USFL in 2022, we became the first league to finish the regular season and crown a champion in the spring football environment in over 40 years. So it's hard for one league to be able to stand up and function and complete a season. So it was going to be really hard for 2. And we both did it last year. The USFL made it through and crowned their champion. The XFL made it through and crowned their champion. And you could see it was going to be poised as a last man standing situation because both of us weren't going to be able to make it. So thank goodness the powers to be kind of got together and said, for the betterment of everything, for the betterment of spring football, the opportunities that Coach talked about, not just the players, but the coaches, the video staffs, the strength and performance staffs, the athletic training staffs, marketing, ticketing, just the entire football family that's part of the businesses when you talk about teams has an opportunity to continue to grow and flourish. So it was in the best interest of everybody involved to come together as a merger. Now, that's easy to talk about, but it was very challenging to do. And the biggest thing was going to be 2 separate leagues of 8 merging together into 1 league of 8. So we're going to lose half of our families on both sides. And that was the hardest part of this merger. And what we were trying to do from the very beginning of this whole process was, how do we keep as many as we can in the family and have them move forward in the UFL with us? And we did a really good job. Wade and his staff, Mark Littlebridge, your general manager, absolutely fantastic. Getting our players to come back in. We had 2 dispersal processes to try and get as many of the players back with us. We had coaching windows to bring the coaches back in with us before they went out to look at different options. We wanted to keep everybody, as many of those people that were with us on those journeys, together through this whole process. Now, what that means is our staffs are stronger. Our rosters are deeper. Because of the merger this season, we're going to go into training camp with 75 guys on all 8 teams. That's going to make things very challenging for Coach Phillips, because a lot of times in the spring football, you go in and you feel comfortable with who your key players are going to be. You're bringing all that talent from those teams that didn't make it into this league, and there's a depth that's been created this season that is going to be, for the first time, the rosters in spring football are going to be the most talented they've ever been. So that's the good news. There's been a lot of difficult conversations and disappointing stories along this journey, but at the end of the process, the one thing that we have to do is make sure that with everything that we had to do that was challenging, make sure that this football product is as good as it possibly can be for the viewer at home, for the fans here in the Alamo Dome and all of our different venues. And I'm positive we're going to do that, because I've watched how hard that Wade and Mark have worked on this process, and all of our other coaches around the league. This is going to be the best football you will have ever seen in the spring.
And Coach, absolutely. And that's, from a fan's perspective, better quality football right off the bat is key. Coach Phillips, as you look at the team that you are putting together that you're going to start training camp with, has that been one of the biggest things that you have noticed? Your talent pool coming into camp is greater than, say, it was a year ago?
Yeah, I mean, you just look at it. We had 16 teams in the 2 leagues, and now we have 8 teams. So, and we're taking the quality guy, keeping the quality guys that we had here at San Antonio, but bringing in some quality guys we were bringing in several all-league guys from the XFL and the USFL to add to the group that was already, the good group that was already here. So it's going to be a better quality, certainly. Now, I thought we played at a high level. Both leagues played at a high level last year, but I think you're going to see even better than that this year.
No, Coach, no pressure on you, but last year the Brahmas record was not what we want or expect in San Antonio, right? Now, you were 7-3 last year with Houston, had, no surprise, one of the best defenses in the league. I imagine we're going to have that here with San Antonio this year.
Yeah, we're going to run offensively. We were one of the top scoring teams last year, and we're going to run the same offense that we had last year. I call it the Mike Leach offense. It's an air raid offense, but we kind of dedicated to Mike Leach since he really was the biggest part of that. That's the offense we'll run. So it'll be wide open, high scoring offense.
You guys can clap for that. Wide open, high scoring, right?
And then we add that to Phillips defense. So there you go. It's been successful for us for a long time defensively, but and our special teams are going to be outstanding too. We're going to get some big return guys. Now, the innovative rules in the league really help you to have longer returns or opportunities for longer returns. So we're going to work hard on the special teams, getting our special teams and special teams guys. So we can make excitement there too, not only on offense, but special teams as far as returns, and then defensively we're going to stop them. In fact, we're going to kick their ass.
Wade Phillips. You're going to do what?
We're going to kick them.
Come on. I was just giving everybody an opportunity to get their phones out and catch that. Because we don't mind going viral up here, because they're paying attention in St. Louis what we're doing. And in Houston, and in Arlington.
Well, that was a strong one. They don't like Arlington.
Yeah, they don't like Arlington. Go figure. Go figure. Now, Daryl, you were at an event yesterday in Houston, and I'm not saying anything bad about Houston, but it wasn't this, was it?
No, this is unique, and it's one of the things. When people say, how did you get your markets? And one of the things that you always want to talk about is you've got a list, and there's a number of things that you put in. And San Antonio is one of those markets that checks every single box that you could hope to check. The venue, the support, the history, passion for the game. I love during this whole process of going into the markets is seeing the core base of fans and what they put their spin on, how they want to support their league. And I am loving San Antonio right now because it is... There is a common theme, but there is a personal spin on all of them, and it is awesome. And that's been one of the fun things to go to all the different markets. Houston is going to be a great venue for us. Every home market that is going to be a part of the UFL are the strongest markets that we had in the leagues last year, and that's the biggest thing that you have to have moving forward is the support here. We want it to look good on television. Jason talked about who the partners are going to be and when you're going to be on TV. 72% of our games are going to be on the networks, and to get that schedule done that way, at the time we really started to finalize the schedule, I give the people that did that so much credit because it was so hard. I mean, you're talking about threading a needle that's very, very small because we were so late in the process as the merger got pushed back. To be able to have venue availability and then get into the windows and go to the networks and what do you have available. So to have the opportunity to give our players and our coaches and the fans to be able to showcase your communities, 72% of the time you're going to be on ABC or Fox or ESPN. So that's awesome.
It really is. And I know I'm in the business and I don't understand how some of that stuff gets decided by the network suits, but I know a lot of work goes into that, and it's a product that they want to show because there's an audience for it. There's an appetite for football. I mean, for all of us, this is our first Sunday without football in a long time, and we only have to wait a couple of weeks until we get football again after the Super Bowl last week. And Daryl, I know we talked last week in Las Vegas on Super Bowl Radio Row, and you've been traveling like a rock star over the last couple of weeks. Some of the rule changes that the UFL is going to have, kind of taking what was good in the XFL and what you guys liked in the USFL. Talk about what it was like, even just deciding some of the rules, which ones you were going to keep and which ones you were going to modify.
Yeah, that was probably one of the harder processes we went through. Fortunately, we've got Mike Pereira and we've got Dean Blandino. I mean, they're the best people in the business when it comes to rules. And you saw when the video was running from the game last year, the transparency, the ability to listen to Dean as he processes through what he's thinking. There's an opportunity for the fans there to kind of be brought into that one part of the game that the NFL doesn't allow you into. And I think it's important for us to be able to do that, to kind of to have that transparency and to let you in to see things. So as we sat down to do the rules, we knew we had, two of the best guys that were going to lead the way, and then it was just what did we prioritize and what we thought was the most important thing. So we'll go over a couple real quick for you. The PAT is going to be the XFL's PAT. We were actually we were actually looking at ways to incentivize our coaches in the USFL to become more aggressive with the PAT. We didn't have a lot of 3-point attempts. We didn't have a lot of 2-point attempts. We became similar to the NFL where we were kicking, the 1-point PAT. So we went with the XFL's version. I was concerned about what that would do for our kickers because the PAT is not automatic anymore in the NFL. When you're talking about kicking it from the 15, it's a 33-yard field goal attempt. So we got to a consensus where that was the best thing. Possession on the sideline. I don't think our guys should be practicing something that's not going to be relevant to them at the next level. We can't be doing 1 foot in bounds if the NFL requires 2. So you're going to have 2 feet down for a catch in the UFL. The overtimes, I think, were identical, so those stayed the same. The biggest one, obviously, that's out there is the kickoff. I understand where the NFL's focus is on kickoffs. It was the most dangerous play in football. It's speed and space. The collisions are very violent, and the opportunity for players to get hurt significantly increases on that play. But we were able to demonstrate a play in the USFL that is really more towards a punt than it is a true old-style kickoff. And I'm a traditionalist. I like to see movement at the point of the kick. So we looked at all the data from our league and compared it to the data from the XFL, and there wasn't a really big difference in the injuries that we were sustaining on the kickoff. So we went with the USFL style kickoff. So it will be at the 20, and the biggest thing for us is, I'll give you an example with 2 guys from our league. Number 1, Brandon Aubrey for the Dallas Cowboys. He had a great season kicking field goals, but the reason that John Fossil was down in Birmingham scouting him is because he can put the ball 5 yards deep in the end zone from the 20. And when Dallas is going to play Washington, New York, and Philadelphia late in the season with weather and wind, you've got to have a kicker with a strong leg because that can give you great field position. So I really believe that Brandon got his opportunity because of the strength of his leg on the kickoffs. And then in our first year, Cavante Turpin burst onto the scene as a return guy. But if you look at Cavante Turpin this year with the Dallas Cowboys, he's that gadget third down guy. They've got the jet sweeps. They've got all the different things for him because of his ability to make people miss in space and his breakaway speed. So we just felt that the kickoff itself gives our players an opportunity. And the one thing, you have great stories like those 2 guys, but the way that our guys get into an NFL training camp and have the opportunity to get not back to the NFL, but back to the NFL and stay for a couple of years and make some life-changing money is as a backup at a position that plays all 4 special teams. So you have those big stories of the Cavante Turpins and the Brandon Aubreys, but then you also have a number of stories from guys from both of our leagues that go into an NFL training camp and make a roster as the 4th tight end, the 4th safety, the 4th corner. the fourth running back, but they're on every single special team because they have to be. And so to be able to create that opportunity was something we felt strong about. So the USFL kickoff will be, or the UFL kickoff will be similar to the USFL, and we will continue to monitor the safety and health data. And if at any point it shows that we need to take a look at it again, we will jump in, because the most important thing is for the safety and health of our players. And then the 4th and 12 from both leagues will stay there. And this is something that the NFL is probably going to take a really hard, long look at this year. And we were trying to figure out a way to incentivize this one a little bit more for our coaches, because we wanted to use it as a true surprise onside kick. So we were actually going to move it out to the 38-yard line. And that way, if you missed it, our coaches said we'd do it more often, but if we miss it, it's a field goal. You know, we're giving up 3 points if we miss that try. So we were going to push it out a little bit more and try and incentivize them to do it. And you could do it at any time. You could do it in the second quarter. Wade's offense is rolling. The air raid is moving. Yeah. And, you know, the defense hasn't been able to stop them. And Wade says, you know what? We're going 4th and 12 right now, and we're going to put these guys away. You know, that's what we wanted to create. But we came to a consensus. We're going to start off with, and that's why we're going to move it just to the 4th quarter. So you have to be behind or tied in the 4th quarter, and you'll be able to use the 4th and 12, but it'll be from the 28-yard line. But it's a play that we think is better than that onside kick. The way that I think the onside kick is recovered at 3%. And it's almost impossible to do it in the NFL today. So that was the one that both leagues really enjoyed, and it was just trying to find that common area where what should be the starting point. How do we use it? Is it all game? Is it in the 4th quarter? So we feel like the way we landed on it this time is the best way to start out year one.
I agree with all of that. I think Wade was thinking like me. As a radio guy, I want the coach to go for it more often, because I know, right, Wade, you like it when radio guys and fans second guess coaches when a decision doesn't work.
I love that. Yeah, that's the best part of being a head coach. But yeah, the 4th quarter, I mean, you know, if you're behind, I mean, you get an opportunity, and that's what we're looking for. So we won't need it, but some team.
Absolutely. Now, Coach, we know you're going to have a great defense. You're known for that. The offense last year, you called it, you said earlier, it's going to be high-scoring, high-flying, Mike Leach style, which, you know, my high school coach was Hal Mummy, so I appreciate what your offense is going to be, because I was running that in the street in Copper's Cove on Manning Drive in the mid-'80s. But some of your players, and I know training camp hasn't started yet, that starts soon, but who are some of the players that you think you're most excited about right now, which I know is a loaded question before you actually see them on the practice field?
Oh, wow. We got several guys from the Brahmas last year, you know, and we're excited about those guys. We've also got, I don't know if Clavion's still here, but Clavion Patton.
Yeah, we've got them here. Where'd they go? I just saw them a second ago over there. Absolutely.
Yeah,
and Coach,
right over there, Clavion
Coach
Patton.
Savion Patton.
He played for Orlando last year. He was first team all league in XFL.
Yeah, well, more importantly, Savion down there from Cuero,
yep,
and played for Coach Spav up at Texas State. He's a Texas State Bobcat, so he's coming home. He'll be good. And we also have Corey Mayfield, who played for Jeff Traylor there at UTSA, was a part of those Conference USA championship teams. And you talk about coach players getting back. Corey Mayfield was with the Ravens practice squad this year, his rookie year. And obviously, he's going to play here, but his hope is to be able to get back and stick in the NFL.
You bet. That's what this league is for, to give those guys an opportunity, or a second opportunity sometimes. Sometimes you get passed over in the league. We've seen it happen throughout the years. A guy comes back his second year, third year, you know, gets the opportunity, ends up playing. This league gives you an opportunity to do that.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Can you talk quarterbacks yet?
Yeah, we in the drafts, we drafted a couple of guys that Quentin Dormady, who's from
Bernie. Yeah, Bernie.
He's from Bernie. Played last year, played about half the year with Orlando. They lost their first 5-6 games, and then they brought him in at quarterback. He threw for over 300 yards and beat DC. At the time, DC was undefeated, and Orlando hadn't won a game. He came in and won that game. He also threw for 300-something yards against Arlington, who ended up winning it all. So we're excited to get him. Along with him from Orlando, I'm talking about Orlando, a guy that I coached with the Broncos when we won the Super Bowl, named Corey Latimer is the tight end. He was all league tight end. And so we got him. Also, we got quarterback that played at Cal named Charles Gabers, and he threw for 4,000 yards in college. So we've got some opportunities at quarterback, but we feel like a lot of positions we have really good players.
And just the idea of getting into camp, and it's going to be interesting because two teams are going to practice together, right? And so camp could be kind of interesting, right?
Yeah, we scrimmage against each other some. We don't practice together. We don't want them. We want the good players, our players, to practice, and then they practice. We practice in the afternoons. We let the other squad practice in the morning.
It's because you like to sleep in.
No. We have meetings in the morning, so we get all our meetings in, then we get our practice in, then we can lift weights after practice, then we have our night meetings. You can join in if you want to. It's an all night deal.
I'm kind of busy between 2 and 6, and I don't like to wake up too early.
Okay.
That's what I was excited about. And that's the best part about being a head coach. You make the schedule.
Yeah. I make my own schedule. That's for sure.
I've got two Cowboy legends. We've got to ask about the Cowboys. I met a lot of Cowboy fans out here, right? A lot of frustrated Cowboy fans out there, right? What was the reason this year? I'll start with you, Daryl. What happened in that Green Bay game when you were watching it? You did. Yeah, I mean, what happened?
I think everybody's still trying to figure out exactly. It's not what happened. It's why did it happen? We all know what happened. It's simple, right? Your best players didn't play well in the biggest game. So how do you get into the playoffs and have a regular season the way you did? And there wasn't a lot of consistency. There was some up and downs. Jimmy always would tell us, you don't want to be on the roller coaster during the regular season. And we tried to stay on that nice, just even climb going up the whole year. And Dallas they got onto that roller coaster a little bit. And I think Buffalo exposed them a little bit late in the year against the run. The defense didn't show up at certain times. But I have no explanation for what happened against Green Bay. Where the score was at 27-0. There's history of Green Bay coming into AT&T and playing well, but that was with Aaron Rodgers. That was not with Jordan Love. And Jordan Love beat Dallas worse than Aaron Rodgers ever did. So I don't know what it is. I don't know why it happened. But I don't like when everybody goes to the coach. That was one of the things that I wanted to get out when people asked me after that, and when we were in Vegas together, and I told everybody, Coach, I said, I understand why you're mad at Mike McCarthy. He dropped 4 passes, he had 3 fumbles, he missed 7 tackles, he didn't have a single sack, he missed 2 field goals. It's not the coach's fault. The coach gets you ready for practice, and then it's up to you to go out and execute the game plan that you worked on all week long. And when you don't do that, that's the problem. That's the team. And I, as frustrated as we were with Dak Prescott after that game, the one thing I respect him is when they came to him about the McCarthy question, he said, well, if you're going to throw him in there, you ought to be starting with me because I didn't play well. So just own it. Just pick it up and own it. You guys all stunk. The defense stunk, the offense stunk, and the special teams stunk. And that happens every once in a while. But you don't want it to happen in the playoffs. But we played. The only one I can think of for us was we were 8-1, and the LA Rams were 2-7, and they came into Texas Stadium and they beat us. And we stunk that day. We didn't play well in any phase, and that happened in the regular season. And you learn from it and you grow from it. The problem is when it happens in the playoffs, you don't get to learn from it. It's over, and you got to wait till next year. And unfortunately for Dallas, they are learning important lessons in the playoffs year after year after year.
Yeah, they haven't won a ring since your last one.
I'm looking at the shirt right there. It's 71, 77, 92, 93, 95, and then it stops.
Yeah. Yeah. Before we get to fan questions, Wade.
Let me say this. Everybody heard that, right? It's not the coach's fault.
And now would you ever? And here's the great part about what football is. Is it the player's fault?
Oh no.
See, we don't point.
It's a media.
Yeah, blame the media.
It was one of the great sayings from an old teammate. Don't point the finger, pull the thumb. So I'm not going to blame my coach. I'm going to blame myself and the players. And he's going to do the same thing.
See, now you've had a couple people shouting out Jerry Jones. And
he missed a lot of tackles too.
Yeah, he did. Although I tell you what, we could do a weekly segment on my show called Story Time with Wade. So Wade, I want to ask you a question about Jerry Jones. Aside from your last meeting with him, because that's when he did say it was your fault, what's a great Jerry Jones story?
Well, people talk about, and Daryl knows Jerry real well too, but he is a great family person. And I will say, when my dad passed away, I wasn't working for the Cowboys. My son was. Jerry took his plane, flew my son and his family to the funeral in Goliad and paid for the meal and everything there. And so I don't have any bad words to say about Jerry Jones. I mean, I wish he wouldn't have fired me, but but I enjoyed working there. We had a tough run my last year. My record there was 34-22 as a head coach, so it wasn't completely terrible. The last year we were 1-7, but we started out 1-3. And then Romo got hurt and didn't play the next 4 games, and we lost those. And so that happens in football, but I've learned a lot since then. We hadn't lost many games since then where I've been, so we're going to try to keep that up.
No, and then you end up getting a Super Bowl ring with the Denver Broncos and your defenses, and we're looking for a ring here in San Antonio. We've got some fan questions over here to our left, you guys is right.
Steve Cantle, season ticket holder, big supporter of the Brahmas. What are we going to look at for fan engagement with the players?
What do you say?
Fan engagement with the players. It's one of the things that's different between both of the leagues, and it's one of the things that we know is important for us to make sure we get it right. In the USFL last year, we had 2 teams in 4 markets, and they were there for the entire season. So that was kind of like an organic thing. It was developed within the market, and even the team that wasn't the home team in the market. So I was in Birmingham all last season, so we had Birmingham and New Orleans. Even the New Orleans players would engage into the Birmingham market. It was a great job. Our social media groups got us connected. We had people that were working from the PR standpoint, doing events for the guys. It's easy when you're there all season long, but the model that we're functioning under this year is everybody's going to work during the work week in Arlington, and then we're going to fly into market. And the one thing that we don't want people to feel like is we're coming in, playing our game, and then getting out. We've got to figure out a way to create that connection between the fan base and the team that they're supporting. So we know how important it is to you. This is probably the biggest question, and the one that I'm going to bring back to our group is, okay, this is the one consistent thing we're hearing, is how does the community get to engage with the players that they're cheering for? And so the one thing that we do is we do grant access that the NFL and other leagues don't. We try to see best practices in English Premier Soccer, in the MLS. They seem to be one of the sports out there that kind of drives it. We did a little bit of the USFL. We'd have like a kids zone when the guys came onto the field. I know the XFL did a lot of creative things, to try and create those engagements as they flew into town. They had some time set aside. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that this season, but I do understand how important this is to everybody here in San Antonio, because I've heard it in Memphis, I've heard it in Birmingham, and I heard it in Houston last night. We heard it in Michigan. So I do want you to know this is top of the list for what we've heard. You guys have asked, you've spoken, and we've heard, and we're going to get back to work and try and get this thing figured out to make sure that we do it the right way in season 1, and be patient with us, because we'll get better at it during the course of the season and then moving into season 2.
Awesome, thank you. All right, we got another fan question over here.
All right, so Coach, welcome to San Antonio. Moose, welcome back.
Thank you.
Glad to see you guys here. So my question is this: what would you advise us to tell the average San Antonian to get them to get engaged and come out to these games, check out the product that's going to be on the field here?
I think the biggest thing is, what we touched on earlier, and Jason said it, this is our first Sunday, without football in a long time. We're just down the road. So when you start to get that question in your mind, well, I need some football. Where can I go for football? Come here. It's not too far up to Arlington. Come see a training camp practice. Come up and watch us work up there. That's something that I don't know if enough people take advantage of. So just start to get ready for it. We told everybody in Houston last night, and I know our social media team is here. What are the handles? Where do I find my information on social media? Start to spread the word there. The one thing that both of our leagues did was use those platforms really well to get the messages out. We told everybody at every one of these town halls that we've been to is find 2 friends that haven't been and invite them to come with you to the game, just so they can see it. And we encourage families. It's, for me, dollar for dollar, there's not a better value in professional sports in our country right now. So you don't have anything to lose, so just come out and see what it's like. And I think you'll see that it's a little bit different. It is unique. You watch it on TV, and I think as a viewer on TV, you see some things you don't see on an NFL broadcast. And when you come to the stadium, you're going to get to see and you're going to get to do some things that you won't see at an NFL stadium. So give us a chance. Just come on out, and then give us the feedback. Continue to give us the feedback, because we're never going to grow and get better unless we hear where we need to get better.
Awesome, very true.
Yeah,
All right, we've got.
It's really family friendly. I mean, I'm a big family guy. And the whole Phillips family. We love football. I've got 5 sisters. They'll be here every game, I'm sure. So, and their families. So, but it's affordable. It's not. A lot of these things you go and you pay so much money, it's not worth it. Except for Taylor Swift. But
Are you a Swiftie?
Well, my granddaughter is. Yeah.
So you're a Swiftie.
Yeah. So
I get it. We've got a couple more fan questions over here.
Miguel Carranza, AF, American football, with the Commanders.
Alliance, yes.
2-time Brahmas season ticket holder. Welcome to San Antonio. Bienvenidos to the family here. Horns forward. Question, Coach Wade. What do you expect from the fans when they come to the Alamo Dome? What do you expect us to be? What do you want us to do? You want the wave? You want us to make noise on defense? Tell us what you need, what you want, so we can push us to victory.
Loud. I want you loud, and I want to hear it. When we're on defense, we want you really loud, and when we're on offense, quiet it down a little bit. But just be a fan, man. Enjoy the game. You're going to enjoy winning first, but we're going to enjoy the game because we're going to play good, high caliber football. We're going to play hard nosed football. And our players are going to give their best, and that's all I've asked of my players is give their best.
And we got one more fan question.
Yes. Hi, Coach. Welcome home. Official member of the Wade Brigade.
All right, I like it.
My name is Jackie Martinez, season ticket member for 2 seasons now. My question is, what's got you most excited about the transition from coaching Houston to San Antonio?
Well, San Antonio's a lot better town than Houston.
Truer words have not been spoken.
And the Riverwalk is amazing. So many people don't know about that, but you know, you really get impressed. The other amazing thing that's going to be here is the Brahmas. Yeah, I'm really excited about being here, and they talked about it a little bit, but you know, if you got a play that you need, you might send it to me, you know, if you think there's a play that...
I know never played for you.
All right. So, but we're open. We're gonna be tremendously involved in this community. When you ask about community, every opportunity, and that's why I'm here today, is to join in the community and get the culture going in the right directions. So. And our players, I'm the kind of coach that the players are going to love their home team, their home city. Not only, you know, we expect the fans to really like us, but we're going to really like our fans too. We're going to give.
And you know, one of the great things, you know, 5 of your games is going to be a perfect 72 degrees. It won't be too hot. It's not going to rain. Won't be too windy. Perfect, right?
That is a big point, and it's great to play indoors where the best team can win without weather being a factor at all. So that's what we want.
Absolutely. And for you guys that want to get your season tickets, if you've thought about it, they are for sale over there. Go see the booth. Lone Star Club has yellow balloons representing each available seat. You can take a tour of the Lone Star Club and suites that are available as we speak. There are 5 full season suites available. Only 5 left? Only 5 left. So get into that. They have exclusive field suite experiences as part of the bullpen. So go see John, James, Hector, Jose, Goldie, and Kent. They're up there at that tent. Go see them and take advantage of today while you're here. Want to thank everybody for coming out. The event's not over. I know we've got some prizes that we're going to give away in about an hour, 3:45. Less than an hour in about 30 minutes, so that'll work. How about a big hand for our head coach? Phillips, Super Bowl champion. And 3-time Super Bowl champion, the Moose, Daryl Johnston. You guys can be louder than that.
Hey, one more thing before we leave. One of the other cool things that's popped up at all these town hall meetings, and I can see that it is here as well, is you've got this core fan base that are the diehard, you know, movers and shakers and communicators and everything. We've seen it in Memphis, we've seen it in Birmingham, we saw it in Michigan, and it was there in Houston last night. Not just being fans of your team, but you know, helping in the community. So when the question was asked about connecting the guys with the community, one of the things that a lot of the fan bases are doing is kind of leading that charge in the community. And if there's a key point of contact, or if you guys have that one central person, there's always been that one person at each of the other town halls that okay, so you're getting nominated. There we go.
Congratulations.
So we need to establish that connection, because what's happened is, like last night in Houston, we're trying to get the people in touch with, and I know you've seen this firsthand, the Bills Mafia. So the Bills Mafia is that crazy fan base in Buffalo, but what they do for other people is absolutely phenomenal. And there's that, we've seen that desire from our other fan bases, and it's been that same vibe here today. So, you know, we got to kind of start doing that together, you know, as a family, is, you know, when we talk about making an impact in community, you know, you guys also helping us find out where we need to be. So that was one of the things that we have learned on these town hall meetings, is there's always somebody that's plugged in and knows how to get all that organized and distributed, and that needs we need to get to that information.
And you think about the best fans in the league, and Daryl, you know this from being a part of a league here in San Antonio, but Coach Phillips, for this event today, Evan and the crew, they had to make sure they put on all the information, no tailgating for this event, because that's how we do it here in San Antonio. You'll be ready for some barbecue. Thanks everybody for coming out.
Thanks everybody.
With the season ticket representatives, they'll help you out, the great sponsors in the back, and make sure you get registered for the prizes that we'll give away at 3:45. Thank you guys for spending part of your first Sunday without the NFL with us here in the Alamo Dome as we get ready for the UFL.
Well, there you have it. If you're still here, if you watched the whole interview, hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. My favorite part was Wade Phillips says his defense was going to kick everyone's asses. The rest of the league put on blast. Let's go. That's what we'd like to hear. Let's score points. Let's stop them. Hope you enjoyed the fan event. Glad we were able to be there. Glad we were able to bring that to you. As always, like, share, subscribe. Episode 27 is coming up. We're going to be talking giveaway again and announcing a winner from episode 25. See you next time. As always, baby, let's end this with a horns forward. Let's go Brahmas.